Hi, everyone. Tracy here with the Oasis for Natural Healing. So, wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about why am I so sick? Okay. So, there are tons of different reasons why people have their symptoms, why people have certain diseases. And one of the things that I want to talk about is okay, so Western medicine, like let's say you do have a thyroid issue. Let's say you have hypothyroidism or you have hyperthyroidism or you have an autoimmune thyroid issue like Hashimoto's. Western medicine says, okay, well, this is why you're tired. You have a thyroid issue. And then they give you a pill and they put you on medication and they usually levothyroxine, for your thyroid or synthroid. Eastern medicine wants to know, okay, well, yeah, you have hypothyroidism, but why? What is the underlying cause? Okay. And you can have one or more multiple causes to why you have your symptoms. Okay. These causes are often missed by Western medicine testing techniques. Okay. They really don't look for, and I can tell you, being a cardiac ICU nurse and being a family nurse practitioner, don't look for things like heavy metals. They don't look for things like heavy chemicals or anything like that. So, and in fact, here, I want to kind of go over. And I pass this out to most of my patients, especially when they're first starting off with me. And I'm going to read this is just a very, very common generic list of where people can get toxins from. Okay. And I kind of want to go over this with you guys. So, acetates and acetones, so some heavy chemicals. Okay. So, and if I give you, if I actually told you where everything is at, you'd have like a booklet like this thick, okay? So heavy chemicals and heavy metals. So acetates and acetones, nail polish remover, paint thinners and removers, and things like that. Chlorine, okay? Chlorine is actually in our drinking water. It's in our swimming pools. And you actually absorb about 10 times the amount from taking a hot shower without a filter than you do from drinking a glass of tap water. Why? Because when you take a hot shower, you actually open up your pores. And people forget your skin is your biggest porous organ. So like if you slap Bengay or even like medication patches, like fentanyl patches, pain patches, how is that actually working? That medication that's on that patch or that Bengay that you're putting on, that Aspercreme patch or that Aspercreme that you're putting on actually gets absorbed into your skin. And then from there, it gets into your bloodstream, which then gets transmitted or transported all over into every single organ. Okay. So your skin is a very, very, it's one of your biggest detoxing organs, believe it or not. Okay. You sweat out toxins through there too. But you actually can absorb more chlorine from taking a hot shower than you can from drinking a glass of tap water. Do you know what organ actually will readily absorb chlorine? Your thyroid. Your thyroid, in lieu of good sources of iodine, will readily absorb chlorine because chlorine kind of structurally, chemically looks like iodine. Okay. So we are very, very iodine deficient. And so when you become mineral deficient, your body is looking for replacements because it needs certain, minerals and nutrients to function properly. So if you become mineral deficient, the body has to make a decision. Well, hey, I'm not getting the minerals and the nutrients I need, but if you're constantly putting in toxins, and if you remember like the periodic table, if something structurally looks similar to a mineral that you need, the body goes, well, hey, that kind of looks like something that I need. So we'll actually readily absorb that toxin in lieu of a healthy mineral. And then what that does, it actually blocks your body from absorbing more minerals. So the more toxic overload you become, the more mineral deficient you become. And then it's this vicious cycle. Okay. So Chlorine will actually block you from absorbing the little iodine that you are getting. And the iodine that you're getting should not be from table salt because the table salt that we use is garbage for you. Okay. So, and this chlorine actually will destroy the thyroid. Okay. Dry cleaning fluid is another. So, dry clean clothes, it's in paints, it's in dissolving agents. All right. Food colors, packaged foods. Okay, food colors and dyes, red 40. Okay. One of my current patients actually one of the things that we do here is it's not just about giving supplements. We want to identify what foods are helping your health and what foods are hindering your health. Because let's face it, most of the foods in the United States is really not food. It's just chemicals. It is artificial food. Okay. And it's loaded with a whole bunch of dyes, a whole bunch of preservatives, artificial flavors, and things like that. So when you're eating that, you are just ingesting chemicals. And most of these chemicals are banned in other countries, but somehow they're allowed in the United States. And these chemicals can actually turn around and cause hormonal disruption, cancer, brain fog. It can lead to anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD. So like red dye number 40. Lots of gut issues, acid reflux, nausea, headaches, okay? ADD, ADHD type symptoms. So hyperactivity, anxiety, cancer. That's red dye 40. Guess what's in there? Pretty much any, like your Skittles, your cereals, anything that's like red or pinkish. Okay. It's in Gatorade. So these are artificial colors. And if you have some of your symptoms could be from ingesting this stuff into your foods. And you might tell me, I've had patients tell me this, well, I don't have it that often. Okay, that's great that you don't have it that often, but guess what? We are so bombarded with toxins nowadays that that little amount actually turns around and it actually compiles on top of each other. So if you have a little bit amount here, a little bit of toxins here, and a little bit here, guess what? You have an accumulation effect, and now your body doesn't know what to do with it, so it starts storing it. So yes, that little bit amount can actually tip you over the edge. It's not so little anymore because we're being bombarded left and right and everywhere from the stuff that they're spraying in the air and everything else. Okay. So food dyes, food colors, formaldehyde. Oh, that's a big one. Do you know that formaldehyde is in Johnson and Johnson baby shampoo? And it is in a ton of other things. And sometimes these wonderful little companies don't have to put it on the label or the ingredient list because they say it's such a small amount that guess what? The government, the FDA doesn't require it. Okay. So it's not on Johnson and Johnson baby shampoo, but guess what? If you call the company, they do disclose it because I've called. And yes, then I asked why, and they said, well, it's such a small amount that the government doesn't make us. That's nice. But guess what? Formaldehyde is embalming fluid. Okay. So formaldehyde can be found in NutraSweet, carpets, new building materials. It's found in certain nail polishes. Okay. And like I said, some of things like body shampoos, body washes, hair shampoos, kind of scary out there. Perfumes and fragrances. Okay. So all that wonderful smelling stuff that you guys smell. Febreze, air fresheners, scented candles, laundry detergent, just household artificially scented household cleaning stuff, perfumes that you actually, spray, and guess where you're spraying? Right on your thyroid. You spray it also right on your wrists. Guess what? You have arteries major arteries right in here. And guess what? The skin is very, very thin. So guess what? Your arteries are really close to the skin and you absorb that right into your bloodstream. Okay. So, and fragrances, perfumes have been known to cause hormonal dysfunctions and disruptions. Okay. So, let's see. Heavy chemicals, so cleaning products, dioxins, toluene, xylem, styrene. So these are heavy chemicals that can be seen in cleaning products and things like that. And just because you use it like on your clothing, to wash your clothes with and things like that, that still stays in the clothes. And when you start sweating, you can absorb those toxins right into your skin. Okay. Hydrocarbons from exhausts, from car exhausts, medications are all chemicals. Okay. Pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, bug killers, right? They kill bugs. You're ingesting them. What do you think that's going to do to your system? Petroleum solvents. So isopropyl alcohol, it's found in skincare, laundry, household cleaning. Okay. Plastics, microplastics, water, plastic things. Even clothes are made out of plastics. Yes, and you can absorb these microplastics, forever chemicals. Okay, preservatives in almost every single packaged foods, and radiation, natural and man-made source. So Bluetooth devices. Okay, radiation can cause brain fog. Okay, how many of you guys sleep with your cell phones by your bedside? Any headaches? Brain fog, can't think straight in the morning, have a hard time waking up, feel groggy, joint pain, joint ache, thyroid issues, smartwatches, constantly radiating yourselves. You can actually, because your carotid arteries here, you can actually cause heart arrhythmias from that. And people have had that, and joint pain, inflammation. Yes. And I read an article and I can't find it. I don't know where the heck I found I read it and I thought I saved it. I did not save it. But they say now, I have to see if I can go finding it again. I don't even know where the heck I saw it at, to be honest. But I read it in an article and they estimate now kids nowadays, by the time they hit 40, 50, will have been exposed to enough radiation as an atomic bomb by the time they hit 40 or 50. Radiation can cause cancer. All those 5G towers. So your microwaves. Yes, you are putting radiation in your food when you microwave your food and then you're ingesting it. And it can change the molecular structure of food. Okay. So these are some heavy chemicals. All right. Heavy metals, aluminum. Okay. Cookware, acid. So your Tums, things like that. Antiperspirant. So your deodorant, aluminum. Aluminum stops you from sweating because it clogs your pores. Okay. Sweating is way for your body to get rid of toxins. You have breast tissue in your armpits. Your breast tissue extends into your armpits. You also have a whole bunch of lymph nodes. So what do most women do? We shave our armpits. When we take a hot shower, we are opening up our pores. Okay. And when we take a hot shower, we open up our pores, and then most of us shave. Okay. And we open up our pores even more. And then when we get out of the shower, what do? We stick a whole bunch of perfume scented aluminum toxic crap up underneath our armpits, clogging our pores, entering our breast tissue and our lymph nodes. And then we wonder why we have breast cancer is on the rise, lymphoma is on the rise, and other things like that. Because we're putting a whole bunch of toxic crap into our armpits. Okay. So aluminum can be found in dental composites. So your silver fillings. So silver fillings, mercury, silver, aluminum. Okay. Aluminum is found in paints, aluminum cans, kitchen utensils, cookware, aluminum tin foil, Yes, it can seep into your food when you're cooking if you're grilling using aluminum tin foil. All right, so we want to get rid of some of this stuff. Arsenic, poisons. So it's actually found in a lot of wine because um, a lot of grapes are treated with pesticides. What does pesticides do? They kill bugs. What's in there? Arsenic. Okay. So arsenic is found in pigments, dyes. So anything like yeah, that has any type of dyes in there can have arsenic. Wood preservatives, insecticides, well water, coal burning, seafood, treated lumber. Okay. Antimony. This is another heavy metals, mostly found in medicine and pigments. Okay, cadmium, water from galvanized pipe, evaporated milk, shellfish, cigarette smoke, sewage sludge, paint, pigments, air pollution. Chromium, found in dyes, pigments, air pollution, dental crowns. Okay, copper. I'm not talking about the copper because some of this stuff you're just like, well, don't we need copper? Yes, your body actually does need copper, but it depends on what the form and where the source is coming from. Organic versus inorganic forms of copper. Okay. So copper plumbing, sewage sludge, beer, swimming pools, copper cookware, inorganic mineral supplements. All right. Dental crowns, gold, dental fillings, jewelry, injections for arthritis, iron. And now we do need iron, but not in this form. It's a different. Okay. So supplemental iron versus inorganic, two different things. And one is considered a toxin versus a supplement or a mineral that our body needs. So dyes, inks, so pigments. So think of tattoos, guys. Okay. Um, Poor inorganic mineral supplements in food. So these are synthetic. Synthetic is a chemical. Okay. When you see, fortified cereals, BS, that's nonsense. And that is actually very, very toxic for your body and actually causes more mineral and nutritional deficiencies because those are synthetic. Your body doesn't know what it needs to do with synthetic stuff. Your body is a natural thing, guys. It needs natural foods for minerals and nutrients, not synthetic. Don't know your religious beliefs, but man cannot create what God created, period. End of story. We just can't. We can try, but we don't do a very good job at it. So it would be like me taking an apple from a tree versus an apple from a lab. When I get an apple or a mineral from a pharmacy or from major food companies like food companies like uh um Kellogg's and things like that for cereals, that they're using synthetic. They're not using natural sources of vitamins and minerals. Okay. So it would be like me taking an apple from a tree versus an apple from a laboratory. Okay. This apple from the laboratory might look like an apple, might smell like an apple, might even taste like an apple, but is it truly an apple? Not really. So it is missing many, many micronutrients that make this what an apple is actually an apple. Okay. So when you ingest this artificial fake apple, thinking it's a real apple, your body has to go, huh, well, this isn't, I need different things to make this synthetic thing work. So what it starts doing is it actually starts pulling out micronutrients from your organs, from your bones, from your tissues to make that synthetic vitamin or whatever work properly, which in the long run causes more micronutrient deficiencies, which then can cause more symptoms. But that might take a while for that to occur. That's why some people might feel a little bit better by after taking some iron supplements, especially if they're prescribed by a doctor, or some vitamin D that's synthetic. So, if so you might feel slightly better in the very beginning, but you will cause more nutritional deficiencies in the long run. And then you'll develop new symptoms. And I can guarantee you, you're not going to put two and two together, that those new symptoms are from you taking synthetic vitamins and minerals in the first place. Okay. So copper can be from copper plum. I think I went over that, dental crowns, gold from dental fillings. We went over iron, lead, car exhaust, paint, plumbing, canned foods, hair dye. So anybody who likes to get their hair dyed, lead, lead poisoning, okay? Newsprint and tap water. Manganese, ceramics, antiseptics, okay? Dyes, medicines, steel products, air pollution, water supply. Mercury, dental fillings, mercury vapor lamps, seafood, especially seafood that is farm raised, not wild caught. Skin lightening creams, sewage sludge, vaccinations. Yes, mercury is in vaccinations. High fructose corn syrup, such as found in salad dressings, okay, ketchup, sodas, cereals, and many other foods. So, mercury is found in high fructose corn syrup. Stay away from it. Mercury can also cause a lot of mental health issues and tons of joint pain and inflammation because it has an affinity to fatty tissue. So, your brain, cartilage, and can mimic things like arthritis. So, you might not really have arthritis, even though it looks like you do. You might not have arthritis. You might have a mercury overload. Your anxiety, depression, your brain fog, problem sleeping could be from mercury on the brain. Do you know that you actually give off mercury vapors constantly if you have silver fillings? Because it over I forgot what the temperature is. Is it like 93 degrees or something like that? Any or no, above in room temperature. I'm sorry, room temperature will cause mercury to give off vapors. Guess what? Your mouth is constantly above room temperature. So you are constantly giving off mercury vapors in your mouth, and that is actually turning around and getting absorbed right into your head. And by the way, if you do have mercury fillings, do not rush out and go get your mercury fillings removed by just anybody. You really want to see a biological dentist. So, and you want to know somebody who is actually a holistic dentist. I think it's a safe technique, maybe. They use like charcoal right before you actually remove your fillings. You want to be seeing a holistic practitioner or a naturopath or somebody who does quantum nutrition testing. So that way you get properly detoxed before, you prep your body before and afterwards because you can actually hold on to these toxins. Okay. So when you have your heavy metals removed from your mouth. Okay. Nickel, cigarettes and dental crowns, silver, dental fillings and jewelry, tin, canned foods, titanium, pigments in your paints, preservatives, in medications. Titanium is seen in tap and well water, dental crowns, and dental implants. Zinc, poor quality inorganic supplements in food. Okay, so these are all toxins where we can get these heavy metals from. All right. So, and I recommend that everybody reads their ingredient list. I do not care what the label says. It's paraben free, it's vegan, it has no sulfates, whatever. That's great. Read your ingredient list. What's actually in it? Because just because a label looks good does not mean it's actually a very clean product. They can make it sound very, very good, and it still has garbage in them. Your beauty products, your food, okay? So get used to reading all of your labels. If you want an idea of if it's clean, if it's a cleaner product or not, I really suggest you getting it's called the Think Dirty app on your phone. It used to be free, but you it still kind of is, but you only get like a couple scans per day. Um, and I think it's like 2.99 a month, and then you get unlimited scans. So you can actually take anything and scan it as many times, like different products, to see. And it will rate it like 1 through 10, like 1 being the cleanest, 10 being like the worst possible thing. So I would suggest doing that if you're having a hard time trying to figure out, and I would try to keep it anything I don't like 3 and below, preferably 1 or 2 when you do scan things. So things like parasites, most of my patients and Lyme disease, it gets missed by so many things. Parasites and Lyme is a big one. And it can mimic so many issues: MS, anxiety, depression, psoriasis, eczema, joint pain and inflammation, gut issues, unexplained abdominal pain or nausea or acid reflux or colitis or Crohn's disease, hormonal imbalances, missed periods, cysts on your breasts, cysts on your ovaries, kidney cysts, okay, Baker cysts in your joints. There is not one single patient that I have had so far that that came in to see me for joint pain that has not had an underlying thing of Lyme or Lyme co-infection. Okay. Sleeping issues. If you have if your symptoms are worse at night, like your brain is going a mile a minute, you can't settle down at night, you're waking up throughout the night, your skin is crawling and itching throughout the night, and it's not during the day, but at night, oh my gosh, you just want to rip your skin off. Guess what? You got parasites. And usually parasites and Lyme disease kind of and heavy metals, all three of those kind of go hand in hand. Because mosquitoes actually transmit both Lyme and parasites. Lyme is more common than what people think it is. And it often gets missed. You can have a negative Lyme test and still have Lyme disease. Why? Because when they do Lyme testing, they're only checking for antibodies. And maybe you got infected with Lyme and your body never produced the antibodies. So when we do the blood work, you're going to look like you don't have Lyme when you really do. Or maybe you did produce the antibodies, but by the time we actually test for Lyme, because we think it might be Lyme, by this time, you don't have any more antibodies. So we say, oh, no, you don't have Lyme disease. Well, no, then that's not necessarily true. Maybe you just don't have the antibodies anymore. Okay. So these are some big reasons why people are so sick. And guess what? When you have an autoimmune disease, do you really think your body was designed to go after itself? No. Okay. Your body was not designed to attack itself. There is something in your joints or in your organs or in your tissues that the body is going after. So we want to find out why. And then we want to find out, well, what supplements does your body actually need to get rid of the underlying cause while giving nutritional support? So each person is a little bit different. I could say that, yes, a blanket statement of charcoal, bentonite clay, you know, chlorella might be really good to start you off with getting rid of heavy metals and heavy chemicals. But each person's slightly different. And not every single person tests for the same supplement or the same dose. And sometimes they need different combinations and not just one or the other. Maybe they need a combination of things to get rid of the underlying cause. So, in quantum nutrition testing, we wanted to assess which of the areas of the body are functioning optimally, which ones are not, whether you have normal labs or not. I don't, quite honestly, I'm going to swear, I don't give two shits what your labs say. Not really, because when we do blood work, we compare you to everybody else. And what's normal for one person might not be normal for the other person. And not only that, how many people have had blood work done? You don't feel good and your blood work is I don't really care about the blood work. It would actually be more beneficial to do blood work, do a parasite cleanse, do a heavy metal detox cleanse, and when you start feeling better, then to repeat the blood work and to see where your labs are at now. That would actually be better to give you an idea of, oh, this is closer to where my body likes to be at. Okay. So, but many people feel like garbage and their blood work is normal. And there's a couple different reasons for that. So, again, when we do blood work, we're comparing you to everybody else. Number two, the ranges are skewed. The ranges for blood work are skewed. And you think of your body like, and your symptoms is kind of like a smoldering effect. It's smoking, right? So your organs are kind of like in the smoking stage. Okay. By the time it actually shows up on blood work, your house is in full blaze fire mode. Like you're on fire. Like your whole body is on fire. By the time it shows up, okay, you're in full blown, like really, really bad disease state. When your body has been slowly smoldering, and that smoldering has been building up, building up, building up until it's on fire, and that's when it finally shows up on blood work. That's kind of Western medicine labs for you. Okay, it doesn't catch the smoldering part, only catches when you're fully blown on fire. Whereas if we actually treated when it was smoldering, we could have prevented you from blowing up and your house going on fire, right? So anytime that you have a symptom, is your check engine light going off, guys? I don't care how minor. I get a headache here and there. Great, that's your check engine light going off. Get seasonal allergies, but it only happens in the spring and fall. That's your check engine light going off. Okay. Any small symptom that you have is your check engine light going off. Most of us wait until we're on fire before we actually do something about it. Why are we doing that? You don't do that with your car, or at least most people don't. You automatically get your oil change every 3 months. Why? To keep it running smoothly. Because you know that if you wait until the engine oil gets really, really dirty, your car's in big doo-doo and you're going to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars to repair it. Guess what we're doing? We're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to repair our bodies through insurance, time off of work, missed vacations because you don't feel well. Okay, you can't work anymore. You're missing family functions, which is invaluable. You can't put a price tag on that. So why are we waiting? If you want more information, please give me a call, 708-554-6730. Have a nice night, guys.